Welcome to the EdTech Tutor channel, how-to demonstrations and tutorials for technology tools in K-12 and higher education. Be sure to like and subscribe this channel and comment below. EdTech Tutor Talk. Let's talk about VARK. If you have not heard of VARK, this is a guide to learning preferences for the classroom. It will provide you a guide and questionnaires on creating different exercises and lessons for your learning objectives in your classroom. So I'm here on the VARK website, vark.learn.com. So it's going to give you some guidance and questionnaires and descriptions on using VARK in your classroom. So VARK is pretty easy to remember. I like the acronym here. Visual, people with strong visual preferences like different formats, space, graphs, charts, diagrams, maps, and plans. A for oral or audio. So people with a strong oral preference have a learning style for discussions, stories, guest speakers, and chat. R for read-write. People with strong read-write preference, learning styles prefer lists, notes, text in format and in online. And K for kinesthetic. So people with a strong kinesthetic preference like using their senses, practical exercises, examples, case studies, trial and error. So this is a quick and easy way to think of our different learning styles. So it's not definitely a learning preference. So there's a different objective for that, but VARK is quick and easy to remember. Visual, audio, read-write, and kinesthetic. So let's look at Introduction to VARK. So do you know how you learn? So VARK tells you something about yourself you may or may not know. You can understand how you interact with the community and other individuals. So VARK is part of a learning style. The words learning style are those to describe our attributes or characteristics about learning. So what motivates us? What's our personality types? How do we integrate these into our learning characteristics? So I won't read all this, but you can go to this website, vark.learn.com. So how does it help with learning? So many inventories label us as providing different strategies to help us learn. So how does a learner know how to learn? And how does a teacher or instructor know different learning styles? So everyone is different on how they absorb and retain information and different lessons. So this is a good resource if you haven't used this before. Okay. So again, if we go to about the VARK modalities, so visual. So let's just summarize these really quick. So visual is a description of information in maps, charts, graphs, arrows, symbols, hierarchies. So it doesn't include movies, videos, or PowerPoint. Okay. So A for oral auditory. So it's the heard or spoken word. So these learners learn best from group discussion, radio, email, speaking, web chat. Read, write. So the R in VARK. So they have a lot of teachers, instructors have people read and write as exercises for reports, essays, writing assignments. But we also learn through diaries, dictionaries, quotations, and using the internet. So in our online, and then the kinesthetic, K in VARK. So it's our perceptual preference to our experience and practice. So whether it's simulated or real. So things that could be grasped, held, felt, manipulated. So lots of different learning styles, and you can be multimodal. You can learn in more than one style. So you can have one or many, or you can have all the above. Most people have a preference for one. So if we go to the questionnaire, so the VARK questionnaire steps you through and helps you understand learning preferences. So you can take this questionnaire yourself of what your style is, or you can take this for your student. So go through the questionnaire and check, multiple answers. When learning from the internet, I like to check all these. Some are one or many. So I'll just go through and check a few. So it asks you things about, how you like to learn, how you like to play, how you like to work on a new project, how do you interact with people. So it is a very good questionnaire, and it's very short. So let's click OK. So just a sample questionnaire example. Your learning preference is multimodal VARK. So scores were 8 for visual, 9 for oral, read, write, and kinesthetic. So that was just a quick example. If you were to take that in a actual setting, it would lean one way or another toward visual, oral, read, write, or kinesthetic. Okay. So your students can take that. You can take that. So how do we use VARK? So using VARK with online learning. So online learning is the trend that all the classes are going toward. Online learning can present challenges for those in some particular VARK modalities. So it's relatively simple for written materials to be distributed to students. And some of these can contain charts, graphs, and maps. However, it's difficult in distance learning to provide materials for all modes, for oral and kinesthetic. So that's the challenge of using VARK. So if you think of an online setting, it's going to be read-write. It's going to be visual. But how do you do oral and kinesthetic? So actually, so face-to-face communication is oral. So your Zoom, if you do a podcast, that's oral. And if you want to have one-on-ones with your teacher using Skype or Zoom, some type of video conferencing. So we need to think of different modalities using VARK for online learning. So of course the visual aspect, charts, graphs, read, write. So you can have questionnaires, maps, you can have them create a discussion group. Oral, so have the students create a podcast or listen to a podcast. And kinesthetic, have them create something, have them create a YouTube video, have them create a podcast, have them create a Minecraft or do some online coding. So read, write, visual, right? How do you integrate these with online learning? So Zoom, mentioned that. So this is a good resource for students and instructors, mostly instructors, for understanding how students learn. So thank you for watching.